I'm the glorious one, Nate the effing great.
I'm Spencer Hart.
And I'm the Squared Circle Podcast heavyweight champion, Max Beattie.
And this is the Squared Circle Podcast.
Listen up, there's not a moment to spare. It's quite a drop from the top, so how you feeling down there? It's a cold, cruel, harsh reality. Caught, stuck here with your enemies. Who do you think you are? Tearing us all apart. Where did you think you could go? 'Cause everyone already knows.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Squared Circle Podcast. Spreaker.com, iTunes, Player.fm, PodDirectory.com, Stitcher.com, TuneIn Radio, the Satchel Player app. Also now on Castbox.fm. All right, we are back here with the Squared Circle Podcast, and you know, I was not on the show last week. I was not on the show earlier this week. A little congratulations are in order to Mr. Max Beattie.
And I'd just like to point out, not only did I win our coveted Squared Circle Podcast heavyweight championship, but I did it on the pay-per-view that kicked Survivor Series ass.
Oh my God, yeah. And I wasn't
a 450 moonsault to the outside through a table. Boom!
I was not a part of the TLC review. The pay-per-view was glorious. It really was. My favorite match of the night, honestly, it was a toss-up between the ladder match. I knew the ladder match was going to be great. And the SmackDown Tag Team Titles match was curiously short to me. I don't necessarily know if that was the exact ending that was supposed to happen, because it was like, I timed it, 6-7 minutes? It was not that long.
Quick victory establishes dominance.
And that's true. And the Wyatt family does need to be pushed as these monster champions that will just demolish anybody that comes for those titles. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy that Bray is officially a champion. I'm very happy that that's the case. It should have happened 2.5 years ago, but I mean, things happen. So it was very happy.
John Cena happened,
Right? Yeah, John Cena.
Yeah.
Hosting Saturday Night Live though tomorrow, so we'll see how many people he buries on NBC tomorrow.
Oh my God. I gotta say though, for me, TLC match of the night, Ms. Ziggler.
Yeah, that match was amazing.
That being said, move of the night, 450 moonsault to the outside through a table.
Yeah,
because AJ Styles almost killed himself.
The main event was match of the night for me. Yeah, the main event was match of the night for me until James Ellsworth. Now it seems to me James Ellsworth.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems lately that Dean can't have a match without James Ellsworth getting involved,
and vice versa.
Right. I don't know.
I like the whole Ellsworth story. The only problem I have with the Ellsworth story is actually a problem I have with SmackDown in general. They have a good idea, but you can really blatantly see many options where it could be great. You know?
Yeah,
right.
Right.
Yeah, I completely get what you're saying.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's not at all. It's just, you could be doing better.
Right, and it's going to be interesting for me to see where they go with James Ellsworth. He's a bona fide superstar. He's signed a contract. So, to me, right now, it's built up as a...
Done?
What?
What I think would have been a really good story, and it really would have hard established SmackDown as something different. You know how people always complain that the baby faces in WWE are kind of jerks and when you really think about it?
Sure.
Dean Ambrose basically used Ellsworth over and over. If they really wanted to kind of get that punch in and go for the great story and make SmackDown different, have Ellsworth turn on him and have Ambrose actually basically go, oh yeah, I was kind of a shitty person. And then have him try to help him, and then he rejects him, and then Styles gets thrown into the mix, and I think that'd be actually really cool.
Would be interesting.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. That sounds actually a lot better than... I don't know, it seems to me that they're out of ideas for James Ellsworth already.
I'm just worried that putting the belt on him is going to be like putting the belt on David Arquette.
Oh, why
Let's
did
not
you
even
do
go
that?
there.
Yeah,
Look at him. Come on.
Look at him.
like
I remember
my
watching
size.
that. I remember watching that because, I wasn't a fan when it actually happened, but I watched a lot of, old WCW and WWE, and I watched that match, and I thought to myself, what in the Christ just happened? Like, I was stunned.
That was Russo taking WCW beyond the woodshed and putting a shotgun up to its head.
I will say this: that same reaction that you mentioned, Spencer, was my reaction after the chairs match with Baron Corbin and Kalisto. Because, oh my God, so many people were saying, "Oh, this matchup's gonna suck. This matchup's gonna blow." I was thinking the same thing: low expectations. Then I see the matchup, and I'm like, "Oh my God, they actually did something good with these guys. This is actually a damn good matchup." I was impressed. Kalisto looked great. Baron Corbin looked phenomenal. I actually said that, honestly, this to me was match of the night in my opinion, because these were two underrated guys that if they had the right opponent, they can become phenomenal stars. And this was one of those moments where it was like, yes, these guys have potential. Use them properly. Use them properly. Oh, did I mention?
God.
Use them freaking properly.
Match was so good, and I think Baron Corbin beat promo skills into Kalisto there.
Yeah.
He beat a very, very good. He beat a good lucha into him.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Never letting it go. Ever.
Yeah, so, today's going to be a little shortened show for the recap side because coming up later in the show, we have our year-end Squared Circle Podcast Awards show that we're going to do. We've all picked out a list of best male wrestlers, kind of like the Slammies, except, 18 times better. The best female and male wrestlers, best tag team, best match of the year, best tag team match of the year.
15 categories, basically. We don't need to go through all.
Yeah, there's a huge list of them that we're going to go through later in the show. I do want to recap a couple things about Monday Night Raw. The first being...
And Max is going to be muted.
Bye, Max. The first thing, and I tweeted this out. I think it was Tuesday. I tweeted out a question that said, in your opinion, is WWE starting to shy away from the PG, starting to leave PG behind? Because especially on Monday, there was a lot of not PG content, in my opinion.
I actually have something to say about that not PG content.
Mm-hmm.
One thing. Just one little thing. Just like to throw it out there that WWE at least hinted at the idea of kayfabe breaking up a real marriage.
Right.
I thought that's pretty cool.
I mean, it was just kind of like, what? My only real problem with it was, well, the execution.
Yeah, and if you
the
didn't
story
see...
side of it, like the actual like physicality of it, like that beatdown and stuff, that was good. But like the story and character motivations are just raw 101.
Yeah, basically, Lana gets pissed at Rusev for... I can't remember exactly what she got pissed off, but she throws down the ring. She's like, I've had it here. And, Enzo pretty much follows his dick and says, hey, baby, I'll follow you to your hotel room. And all of a sudden, they're at the hotel room, and I don't know. It was a pretty...
Rusev.
You're a fool. Yep, Enzo, you're about to die.
Well, the interesting thing about that whole thing was I think kind of the build up, because I think a lot of people, like you said, Max, were actually kind of invested in it. I was invested. I was thinking, whoa, they're actually going to go into an actual not real storyline like they did back in the like years ago. And honestly, I want to see it go. And I think right around the time when they announced Big Cass versus Rusev, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be interesting. So Enzo and Lana are doing their thing, and then Rusev and Cass are going to do their thing. Of course, Rusev doesn't come out, and that's when we slowly realize, oh, shit, it's a trap. Well, this is not going to end well for Enzo, and it didn't, because Lana, being the seductive mistress she was, also turned out to be a really good trap master, in which she gets Enzo down in his nice little, I have no idea what the hell kind of boxers those were, and gets
You're
the
right.
shit
Certified
beat out of him.
G-shorts?
I think that's what they
so.
were, yeah.
But then gets beat the shit out of him, like you said. And it actually looked like he got the shit beat out of him by Rusev. And here's one thing that I think a lot of people have really been hating that's going on with Rusev. It seems like every time they put Rusev in a storyline, he's always the victim, which really sucks because I think that Rusev could do so much. He's honestly one of those guys that definitely deserves to be in the world title picture. But he's always just turning out to be a victim in every single freaking storyline, whether it involves him and Lana or just him on his own. I mean, we could go through the whole ordeal, especially the laundry list. Dolph Ziggler feud, League
let's
of
not
Nations,
bring that up ever again.
the freaking U.S. title run that ended with Roman Reigns, and now the title's basically useless, basically.
Yep.
And now the whole thing with Enzo Amore, it's like this has just been a really bad year for Rusev. I really hate that because he was such a badass when he first came into Raw, and then
he was.
And then just
back
like
when
the
he had a
stock
first
market and the
name.
Great Depression, boop, hits a rock bottom.
Well, what happened was he hit John Cena. That's what happened.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He lost 3 times in 3 consecutive pay-per-views. Granted, he lost one time, but then he had to win 3. Just like the same thing with Kevin Owens. Like, lost 1 time to Kevin Owens, and then he had to make him lose twice.
Yeah.
Hey,
Great job, Cena. Great job.
We'll
Keep
always
complaining
have
about
his
the
WrestleMania
part-timers.
entrance on a tank.
That's true. That was a good
That
entrance.
shit was amazing.
Yeah, so going back to my previous point, 64% of people on my Twitter said they actually think PG is starting to be left behind. And I agree with them that I'm not saying we're going back to like the Attitude Era, but we're hitting that. I think we're starting to see that happy medium between family friendly and brawn panties. I couldn't resist. No, but so the other thing I want to discuss about Monday Night Raw was the Charlotte Flair promo. So, I was half expecting Ric Flair to burst into a huge pile of dust after Charlotte slapped him. Because I'm pretty sure at that age, he shattered his femur, taking that slap by his daughter. What's next? Because I know that we have Roadblock coming up, a 30-minute Iron Woman match. For the women's title. We all know what happened the last time there was a 30-minute Iron Woman match. It was straight fire. But are we seeing too much of Charlotte and Sasha at this point?
Simply, no. Because
think
all
so?
honesty, you guys, I honestly know that a lot of people are going to compare this to like Randy Orton and John Cena, where it got to be too much, and they kept doing it so frequently that was so bad. But the thing is that, while I do agree that this is not the best way to promote the women's championship, at least they're doing something with the women's title. At least they're putting on pretty good matches. I mean, a lot of people will definitely say, "Oh, that Hell in a Cell match was complete, garbage." At the ending was the only tricky part, but other than that, it was still a damn good matchup, and it's shit that you don't see from the women's division in WWE since a long time ago. There was a time where they actually had a women's steel cage matchup, and you've not seen that in a long time. And they go out there and they are in a Hell in a Cell matchup. Color me in. I will put money towards that. I want to see what happens. Now they're going to have another, Iron Maiden matchup between Charlotte and Sasha. Yeah, I'm kind of interested, and I kind of want to know how this plays out. And in all honesty, this could be the moment that we finally see Sasha break Charlotte's, pay-per-view streak, as well as I think that this is where Sasha's going to start slowly turning heel, because they obviously have a major heel going into WrestleMania, and I think if they're going to do Sasha versus Bayley at WrestleMania, that definitely needs to happen. They need to have Sasha be a, bitch of a heel and really get the crowd to hate her. And she does a really damn good job of it. I mean,